Good evening from Bali, everyone. It's Hanifa Menon from hearthealthbrainhealth.com, encouraging healthy grieving and mindful actions. Today, I thought I would talk about a big concept as I've just finished the whole series of soul power and Shakti power, and I thought that we should look at together this idea of what shifts a person from our pure inherent soul energy. So, this pure inherent soul energy, which that whole series was about, these are the powers that are within us already. They're already there. They're already there, yet most people don't feel very powerful with them because they're not practicing building them, or we're not practicing building them. And whenever we do this, we move away from soul power energies. So just like this muscle that's not developed, it's very weak, and then when we need it, we realize we don't have it. So today I thought I'd talk about this idea, and I thought I'd start with this first quotation that doesn't have an author, but this is perfect for starting this. So this says, peace is a result of purity. Purity is a result of soul consciousness. Peace is a result of purity, and purity is a result of soul consciousness. So soul consciousness, so you understand, it's understanding those soul properties, those powers that I've spoken about in the Shakti series. Those are our inherent natures. That is who we are. Yet, what our minds believe is that we are this mind and this body, and this mind and body works in this physical world and thinks, well, you need anger to get through this, or you need to be really firm to get through this, and don't put up with that. And these are the things that we're taught from a mind level. And from a soul level, there's peace. So peace does not exist with any of those other thoughts that the mind might bring in. And most people will say that I'm not peaceful because this happened. And this happened is usually something outside of us, which we can say that person did this, or said this, or behaved this way, or I just know they're thinking this, or anything like this that we can suddenly become aware of. And whether we're thinking about it, we're speaking about it, or we're behaving based on it, we blame something from the outside. Sometimes something from the outside has happened years ago, and our mind brings it up, and then we'll blame the mind that, oh, well, my mind keeps on thinking about this. So I wanted to talk about this process of how we change from this really inherent energy that we all are and these powers that we have. So first of all, I'll remind you of what are the inherent properties of the soul, and that would be love, peace, happiness, some would call that bliss, strength, purity, and wisdom. Now, if we see that something can happen where we see someone, or we speak to someone, or we think about someone, and it throws off our peace. If it throws off our peace, we've moved away from one of those most fundamental soul properties and soul powers. So we move away from peace, from either thinking about something that does not bring us peace, or experiencing something even in the now that is not very peaceful. Then, when we're not in a very peaceful mental space, the soul shifts from this original totality of all of these soul powers, because now it's a little bit different from that peace space. When that difference happens in one space of peace, right away we can understand that it's no longer the purity, because purity would include peace, that when I am peaceful, I am in my purest space. When we lose that space of purity, automatically we don't feel so happy. And when we lose that space of feeling happy, we feel we lose our strength. So if someone disturbs our happiness, or something disturbs our happiness, whether it's a thought, an experience, an event, or an interaction with someone on the phone, in person, or in text, that pulls us away from a place of strength, because now I feel like, oh, I've been so wounded by this. And so you can see that all of the soul powers are moving like a wave together, and moving away from that inherent purity and complete soul power space. Now this is interesting because I've taken some notes to make sure that I don't miss any of the things that I'd like to share with you today. One of the things is that each person does not shake us up. So there may be a person, or each event does not shake us up. There may be a person we think, oh, this person always disturbs my peace. And when they disturb my peace, then I feel like getting back, perhaps. So we might say that, they speak angry to me all the time. They speak judgmentally to me all the time. They speak irritably all the time. Or I'm hurting because I'm not at peace because they're hurting. Anything that disturbs our peace helps us remember that we do not need to wait for the outside to give us our peace. Our inherent properties are right within us. What we can remember in those situations is it's time to build up that muscle again. These muscles, these soul power muscles, are only built when someone is actually intending to and working on building. So there's a lot of people that will learn about this information and think, well, that sounds really great and flowery and beautiful, but I just can't be in a peaceful spot all the time. Yet we can. We actually are. We cover it with the thought, the worry, the fear, the concern of something that's not peaceful. And this time, I would like you to think about, is there a person that, even when they say something not so kind, not so easy, not so comfortable, that you can be forgiving or tolerant or accepting, because those are soul powers. Those were the soul powers that I've talked about already in previous videos. And if we can see that we can be that way for one person, we can be that way for every person and every event. It does take a mindful attention though. So this whole idea, if we lose our soul consciousness, we forget who we are. We forget that we are the soul. We are these powers. We are there. And then we would think that, oh yeah, but that just takes too much work. And do you remember one of my videos, I had mentioned this quotation which says, you can help someone who is not strong. You can help someone. That's a person, that's a child that I was talking about getting up from falling. We can help someone who's unable, but we can't help someone who is unwilling. And the only person that can help us gain our soul powers back again is ourselves. Now this requires a willingness, and it actually requires some work to do it. And this work is a fantastic experience, because as long as we don't let the mind constantly get upset with ourselves for, oh no, I didn't build up enough again, or I reacted again, or I responded this way again. Oh, responding is better than reacting. But let's say this was not a soul conscious response. This was not a peaceful response. This was not a loving response. This was not a tolerant response. This was not an accepting response. When we're aware of that, that's all we need to do, is we're aware and we come back into what would be more tolerant, what would be more loving, what would be more kind. This is how we build up this muscle. So this quotation also, which doesn't have an author, I thought I'd share with you. It says, you are a pure-hearted soul who can create a world of good feelings with the drop of just a single thought. The drop of just a single thought. So this single thought is this awareness, oh, I realize that I'm not acting from my soul consciousness. I'm acting from my mind thinking, my reaction, but I am the soul. This single drop is a single thought that then spreads into our entire system. Now, remember, it's not the mind that is going to look for the solution, that we want to say, oh, I didn't speak right, I didn't do this right, I didn't think right. Don't get into the space of, okay, what should I do? Because that's the mind. Allow the awareness to just sit with you and know that there is soul energy that you're building, and the response will come. The right action will come. The right words will come. This does happen. You'll have to trust me on that until you try and practice this regularly. And I'll finish today with one final quotation. It's by Jaques Rousseau, and it says, what wisdom can you find that is greater than kindness? What wisdom can you find that is greater than kindness? When we recognize that, oh, I said something, I thought something, I did something that wasn't so kind, or wasn't peaceful, or wasn't tolerant, it was away from my soul qualities, that kindness of just understanding ourselves, that, okay, I did that, I let it go, and now I'm kind. Today, I'm kind. Today, I choose to build up this muscle again. That's all. That's as much time as you need. And then we move into soul consciousness and soul living. So I hope that you will spend some time reflecting on this and recognizing you have all of this in your soul consciousness, come back to it by practicing regularly. I wish you a fabulous day ahead, and I hope you remember, transform your mind and transform your life. Have a great day, everyone.